with my favorite item because of the various strats we see with it, and it's not the bombs. It's the Cane of Samaria.
You know what? I'm going to go with that too, because I also like using the Cane of Samaria for the escape section. Very versatile tool. You can use it in a lot of different ways. And we are going to get things started right off the bat here. The uncle apparently reading the flyer for the 50,000 rupee reward on our bounty here.
But didn't look like he had a sword, so we will not see a sword at Uncle. Because I do believe he carries it there if he actually has it.
That's what I've been hearing. Honestly, I have not gotten the sword escape very much in this particular mode, so I haven't been able to verify that, but that's what I've heard, so we'll see what happens.
I know it definitely lies by his side if he has it, but I wasn't sure about the house there. He doesn't, it's not there. It's the bow!
Alright, so with the bow, we're definitely guaranteed to see a very swift escape here. I want to say the bow is probably the fastest weapon you can use to get through this section, just because it can very quickly kill all the guards, and unlike Fire Rod, it doesn't leave away a residue of fire that you have to kind of wait for before the enemy passes out, so...
Yeah, Hammer may be faster, but you also have to be very accurate with it. Well, there's a bomb drop. Both players should see that bomb drop if they do any farming, as that was the first green guard drop we saw.
I believe so, yes. So yeah, it's going to be very likely that we will be getting a bomb drop here. Yeah, because we will have a required green guard kill in the room before the second chest, so...
Is that a fairy I heard as well?
I think so. I think, yeah.
That prize pack is... loaded.
Yeah, very generous prize pack today. Ooh, get the cape in the first chest and escape.
You never really want to see that, because that, of course, immediately goes, hey, did you think this might be an Aga seed?
That's right, we still need the lamp and at least a fighter sword to have that happen, and on another bomb drop as well. But yeah, Aghanim seed looks potentially likely in this case.
Well, and it's that one item that you get early, because that you sort of go, oh, it looks like Aga, because the lamp doesn't really say that. Raspberryfloof, please? Well, at least this room is fast. Raspberryfloof may be able to get back in time to still pick up that bomb.
Yeah, just have enough time. Like we said, the bow is very fast, so we can thankfully KO the guard in that room pretty quickly, so
yeah.
I think maybe Raspberryfloof was under that impression, but I'm fine, don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, I'll get it on the way back. Raspberryfloof gonna use pot strats here instead of straight arrows.
And we get the small key to the escape section in Zelda's chest.
Yep, so we get to wait in anticipation for what our key in the sewers is, instead of knowing it's a small key.
Mm-hmm. It'll probably just end up being the map.
Yeah, that's always one item it could be. Then, of course, it could just be a bomb upgrade and be even less useful for our runners.
But yeah, thankfully it will not really be an issue for either of our runners, because the bow, it's really difficult to, I think, run out of arrows unless you just go super insane with farming. But if they were in a case where they did run out of ammo, there is a feature to this particular mode where if you run out of ammo, you can save and quit, and you will be reloaded at one of, I believe, 3 checkpoints, depending on how far you've gone. And you'll actually have some of your ammo restored, so there will not be a case where you get completely soft-locked from continuing and then have to start the entire seed over. You'll have to redo a little bit of escape, but thankfully not the entire thing.
Yeah. You know, that rat being the final boss can control you a little bit on occasion.
Yeah, it is definitely the hardest enemy to lock down in the escape section. The hardest required enemy to defeat.
The runners, of course, also probably going to be hoping they find a weapon more suitable for killing mini Moldorms at some point before they have to do mini Moldorm Cave, because the bow is not a fun weapon to kill mini Moldorms with.
Yeah, any weapon that's kind of, or any enemy that's kind of erratic can be kind of hard to lock down with the bow. And we get just a 20 rupee inside the Dark Sewers chest, but we still have a couple more chests to go, and we do have the bomb to get them, which is the reason why our runners have done some of the farming in Escape.
And got the key rat. Took a couple extra arrows. Don't lose the key rat. Good job, Raspberryfloof. So once that key rat gets out of your sight, you can be searching for a little bit.
Okay, and then the 3 chests back here, we just get a heart container, a red rupee, and the map.
Yep. Could have been worse, could have been better.
That's true. This early, I don't think it's really too bad to see heart containers, because you never know how much health you're going to have to end up working with, and if this is an early Dark World seed, the more health the better, so we can't complain too much about that.
Well, and my opinion is always the earlier you can get past 4 hearts so that you're not going to be 2-shot by crabs along the South Dark or South Hyrule walk, the better.
Yeah, very, very true. Anyway, it looks like we are going to have about a sub 620 escape from both of our runners. Honestly, a really good time. Again, just shows how fast the bow can be with getting through the escape section.
Yeah, for sure. Meanwhile, both runners are going to check Lumberjack Cave by the looks of it.
First going to check that tree pole, and thankfully, we're going to need what that drops. We get arrows from the first tree pole here.
Raspberryfloof passing up the 20 rupees there that he got from killing the chew or the pickle or whatever the official name of it is. I don't know. I call them chews because that's just what those type of things are called in later games.
So in the Lumberjack tree, we do have a heart container. That's not going to be a required item, although it would be helpful. I do not see our runners beating Aghanim just for that heart container. It'll be just for Dark World access if it comes down to it.
Yeah, you won't even see... Hello, Power Gloves. Now, of course, Power Gloves by themselves unlock very little early on in Standard Mode because of the fact that you get that, you get to do that escape chest in the sewers as long as you get a bomb, so... Less of a sort of highlight in the early game, just part of the non-Aga Dark World access, which of course they'd like to find non-Aga Dark World access ASAP at the moment.
Yeah, and all they need for that right now is the hammer and also the moon pearl. And we have a lot of items coming up here in Kakariko, so maybe they could find both of them, and then they can have a couple of different options where they can go after that point.
Yep. Raspberryfloof cutting all the way down, of course, because Raspberry needs to pick up bombs first. 100 rupees not bad to find right there, though.
Definitely not. And here in Buane's hut here, we have 20 rupees. 20 rupees again. Another heart container. Another heart container. And we had a kind of a reflection there of the two chests right there. And here we have 50 more rupees. All right.
Okie dokie. That's one way to start us off here. Decently healthy seed. And a sword.
Ooh, sword in the chicken hut. All right.
So, runners, that being said, so that's of course is part of our Aghanim Aga 1 access. So, well, it's silver arrows.
Ooh, wow. Oh, and they have the bow too, so they'll be capitalizing on that very early. Just a bow or a quiver upgrade here in the back of the well. Some more rupees. Heart container and the boots.
Raspberryfloof almost killing herself.
Ooh, yeah, gotta be very careful. Thankfully, there are some hearts in here. But yeah, with those boots, we do have an opportunity to check the library item. Well, we'd have that chance to check anyway, but we'd actually be able to get the library item.
Yeah, we'll see if it's necessary. I also wouldn't be surprised to see the race game just done by these runners as well. We will see about that in the near future. As the race game won't cost a bomb, and it is sort of nice to sometimes get it, but that being said, it also is just that much faster to just run down, jump over the ledge, and check it as well, so...
That's
we shall
true.
see.
Yeah, very, very true. Anyway, Buane's gonna pick up the 100 rupees here at the bar.
No bottles found, so we are going to have to come back at some point to relieve the sick kid of whatever he has this seed. I missed that map check mostly. I saw a 5 6 crystal on Eastern, but aside from that...
I saw a green pendant on Tower of Hera, and I believe crystal, I don't think it was a red one. Oh, and there's the Titan's gloves, or Titan's mitts in the library.
There's almost Dark World access.
Yep.
So we just need to find the hammer to have a whole lot of almost Dark World access. Then it just comes down to... where's the Moon Pearl? A bottle.
Oh, there's a bottle
both
right
of them turning
there.
around. I don't think you can afford to turn up a blue potion at this point in the seed.
Definitely not. And
Not for this time cost.
Yeah, for sure. And if they wanted to, they could go right back up and check Sick Kid as well. Who knows? Sick Kid could end up having the hammer.
Yeah. And that's the other reason. This is the first bottle you see. You don't really want to turn up the first bottle you see either, as that could also cost you.
Yep, definitely. Ooh,
So
looks
Raspberryfloof not gonna check. Buane is.
Okay, so this could be interesting. It won't make too much of a difference because this is still the early game, and a lot of things can change in the early game. But honestly, just getting a different item here, an important item at Sick Kid, could drastically
it being the
change.
Moon Pearl. It being the Moon Pearl would be the biggest problem.
Yeah.
But it's not the Moon Pearl.
And looks like Raspberry is going to actually bypass the southern shore for right now. Going to be checking out the Eastern Palace area.
And if Raspberry is comfortable with dark rooms, there's perfectly good reason to be doing this because you can full clear Eastern Palace, and it's one of the important crystals right now.
That is very true. One thing I have been seeing a lot of runners doing, and I'll get to that point as we finish up this check right here. We got 50 more rupees. We got the Moon Pearl. There it is, and there is a heart container. Meanwhile, Buane getting bombs in the first chest in the dam area.
So we have Dark World access, but we can't get to the pod area yet.
That's right. Still can't quite get to that, and that's kind of what I was getting at a little bit. You will see a lot of runners actually not opt to check the eastern area right away, just on the basis that you can come back later with Mirror and Dark World access in general, and then check both Palace of Darkness and Eastern at the same time. Kind of get both locations done at once. We do find a shield inside the water outside of the dam.
Obviously, that situation we're talking about, not possible this seed, because you need to have the Moon Pearl to make that play.
Yep.
Gotta be a little careful here now.
Yeah, if he falls in that pit, he will unfortunately take it. Oh, and Moldorm
Or if
gets
the Moldorm gets him. Both will do the same thing.
Yep, unfortunately. So Buane is going to lose a little bit of time there. Going to restock health to make sure he's nice and healthy for attempt number 2 in that room.
Yeah, fortunately with the boots, well, nice hookshot location there.
Mm-hmm.
So the hookshot not giving us a lot more access to anything just at this moment, but always an item you want to see, as it's something that can troll for quite a long time, as it has very few items that it specifically locks.
That's right, and if you don't know the hovering technique, it will be required for Ganon's Tower, so...
Yeah, depending on what swamp, if swamp's a pendant, that hookshot can be almost anywhere.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like we're speaking from experience here. Anyway, 50 rupees, some bombs, a piece of heart, another piece of heart, and the bug catching net inside the mini Moldorm cave. Raspberryfloof just getting a dungeon item there.
Of course, if anyone wants to know the experience we're talking about, go watch the Week 1 race between Spiffers the Grand and Slim Kirby, and you will discover the fun of where hookshots can be.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that is very true. But yeah, Raspberryfloof navigating through this dark room, probably one of the easier dark rooms to get through. Just have to kind of go around in a clockwise fashion. That first room, go to this room, get the key, and then go back to this other room, make it to the very end, and you got it.
Not a lot of easier rooms out there. Actually, one of the easiest rooms out there for experienced runners, easiest dark rooms, is actually the Turtle Rock dark room, but you need to know the tracks for that to be easy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just a red rupee in the big key chest. Raspberryfloof is going to be attempting the second dark room of Easter Palace, which can be a bit more tricky, especially without the fire rod. But in this next room, needs to find one of the Igors, kill it, and then also grab the small key. And then, of course, find their way to the door as well. Can be kind of tricky because there's a lot of enemies in this room.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the fairy jump there to refill his health.
Oh, I almost forgot. Yeah, the Ether Medallion. Raspberry, I don't remember where that exactly was, but yeah, could use that to make this room a lot easier.
Go, and we are good to go.
I guess Ether Medallion must have been in here then, maybe in that third chest.
Yeah. And of course, can't use medallions without swords, just making the sword all that more valuable for Raspberryfloof.
Yep, could not agree more.
Stolfos, please.
Jesus, Stalfos is being more annoying than the actual red Igor.
To be fair, we have silver arrows. Red Igors aren't really going to be that annoying this seed, unless they do that. That good old moment right before they're vulnerable.
That is a fair point.
And Stolfos are always annoying. Like, let's be honest here.
Yeah, they always seem to just jump away when you don't want them to. Anyway, Raspberryfloof takes down the Armos Knights in quick fashion. Those silvers make it a very, very easy task and gets their first crystal.
Yeah, and he's turned quite the play in this seed.
We'll see, at this point, I think the only other two locations that are available to our runners right now, when you don't count sequence breaks anyway, are Zora and Agina's Cave. So
well, or, all of Dark World.
Oh, yeah, all of Dark World. Oh, there's also the Bonk Rocks, too, and King's Tomb now as well.
Yeah. There was Ether.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I was about to say, lots of... What do you mean the last location's available?
Yeah, there was admittedly a little more than I thought, but yeah. Ooh, Master Sword and the King's Tomb.
Nice time for that. Right before you're going to go to Dark World, most likely.
That's true.
We could see a sequence break up Death Mountain. Lots of chests up there because we have the hook shot. I don't expect to see that play just because Dark World's in logic.
Mm-hmm.
But we have access to almost all of it. We can't get to the Tower of Hera yet. Either the mirror or the the mirror, the hammer, or the... Or no, it's just those two. The hammer or the mirror would give us access to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm being silly. I'm just thinking about the mirror from the dark Dark World portals on the East Death Mountain as well. Two different ways to get the light. Two different ways to get there. Anyways.
Anyway, with that second bottle that Raspberryfloof got, definitely jogs their memory that, okay, we still have to check Sick Kid. And after that, looks like Raspberryfloof could be heading to the Dark World and start checking out the Village of Outcasts and the Skull Woods area.
Yep. Buane, on the other hand, successfully navigating the Dark Room. And is on his way to the Armos Knights.
Okay, the other two pendants are in Skull Woods and Turtle Rock.
And then Swamp Palace is our other 5/6 crystal.
So, one thing I noticed is that because of the nature of both Turtle Rock and Skull Woods being pendants, this could be a seed where Fire Rod may not be required.
True, yeah, it definitely could be the case. All the better reason to check what Raspberry's checking now, as there may never be a reason to. Well, look at that, the flippers.
That's definitely a good reason to check this very quick pendant dungeon, because yeah, flippers, they will need that for Swamp Palace, and that is the other 5 and 6 crystal, as you mentioned.
Yeah. So just looking for, well, we still need the hammer as well. The hammer and the mirror will put Swamp in as completable.
Mm-hmm. And looks like Buane is going to be heading off in the same direction that Raspberryfloof was, going to check the King's Tomb, get their Master Sword, and then we'll also be checking the Bonk Rocks, I imagine. We'll see what he does after that. As chat was mentioning earlier, Death Mountain, even though it is a sequence break, is a very, I'd say it's a very good play at this point, just with all that is available over there.
Yeah, you've got 6 locations in Dark Death Mountain. You've got 8 in East Death Mountain, and then you'll get the Old Man, as well as you can get the whatever's in Spectacle Rock. So whatever that adds up to, 14, 16 locations.
Yeah, it sounds about right. A lot of stuff for sure. Anyway, Raspberryfloof going to be attempting this bomb jump right here.
Also, of course, the other interesting thing that Flippers gives access to is the pod area. It means that pod is currently now available to us as a play.
That is true. That is very, very true.
No real reason to rush to it at the moment, given that we don't have the hammer yet.
Yeah.
But it being in logic is interesting to note, for sure.
Oh, definitely. Could not agree more. Raspberryfloof going to be checking the Bumper Cave item. Just some bombs. Not going to be going out of their way for that. And yes, Buane is taking a route divergence here. Going to be checking the Death Mountain area.
Yep. So we'll see how much value this has in it. A Tempered Sword's a good start.
Yep, nothing says value like, in my opinion, the best sword in the game. Not as strong as the gold sword, but when you have Tempered Sword, you feel confident enough to beat the game with the items you have, and with silvers, you're not going to have that bad of a Ganon fight either.
Yeah. And more importantly, it can still do damage to Moth in the vanilla game.
Mm-hmm.
The single arrow in the chest game.
I can't really say that's worth it.
No, really not. Not unless you really, really enjoy your memes. Granted, with silver arrows, that meme is the meme of it being the arrow that we use to kill Ganon is very much alive.
That is true. And, the last hit, that could very well be that arrow. You never know. Okay, Raspberryfloof going to be checking out the Thieves Town dungeon next. Not getting anything of note for the first chest, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But Wayne,
20
checking
rupees
out
though.
the-
What? It is an item, which is of some note, of course.
That is true. Ooh, half magic, 10 arrows, a piece of heart, red rupees, and even more red rupees. Oh, and Raspberryfloof did find the lamp.
Oh, missed that. Was that another item in Skull Woods?
I don't... C-shape house.
Oh, a C-shaped house. Okay, lamp and sea house. After Buane fell, went back up, did the bomb jump again. Everything's fine now.
Mm-hmm.
First try every time.
That's all you need. Okay, so what's going to be on the top of this Death Mountain Island? Can't
Of
see
course.
it, Dead rocks,
The most
please.
epic of dead rocks. The blue mail. Interesting. So likely we'll see it. If we get that depends on if we find the other where the other mail is. I would say.
Yeah, I'd say so too. Having some extra defense is never a bad thing, especially if you are stuck with green mail for a long time.
Yeah, although we do have some solid parts. Why, hello there, Kane of Samaria.
Yeah, very decent find there. We will need that for Misery Mire later on in the seeds, so good to get that out of the way now.
No one trip up the mountain seed this seed, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Buane is going to be checking out the Super Bunny Cave next. Super Bunny Cave gets its name from a glitch known as the Super Bunny, where this hole right here that Buane is going to fall into, this will actually cancel out the aspect of the Bunny Link, where you can actually open chests as the Bunny Link sprite. So,
As does, I believe, any other hole, but
right.
falling through a hole as the bunny just lets the bunny do Link things again, basically.
Yes. We do get the Bombos medallion from that cave, by the way.
Which is very important because it helps us along our Fire Rodless Seed idea.
It does, and I...
Hello, Hammer.
Ooh, Hammer! That is a very good place to get that.
Yeah, especially since we had the small key.
Yeah, definitely. Just for a compass, though, and I believe that was the Ice Rod. Of course, though, Turtle Rock is a pendant dungeon, so we may not need that mushroom
This
as well.
hookshot cave. It's like, hey, you should consider these things. We're gonna stick them in the back of your mind. Now you have to deal with it.
Yeah, and also getting the cane from that Death Mountain trip as well. Just, again, it's definitely pushing like there might be something in Turtle Rock, and the Hammer's fully within logic right now, too, being just in Thieves Town, so...
Yep.
And I want to say, like, I couldn't quite see it because the frames per second text on the bottom of Buane's screen, but I want to say Turtle Rock was Bombos. It was hard to see, but... it looked like it was Bombos.
Yeah, I didn't catch it at all, unfortunately.
Raspberry does complete Thieves Town, gets their second crystal, has a 2-1 crystal lead on Buane right now, but again, there's still plenty of this seed to be played. Buane did get some good items at the top of Death Mountain, so...
Yeah, and Buane many overworld checks on top over Raspberryfloof right now. And I don't expect Raspberryfloof to skip the entire South Hyrule check for too long.
That is true.
And I don't believe there's much value down in that. Probably some health. Probably part of the reason why there's this health difference between the two runners right now. But
yeah, definitely.
Otherwise, not a lot of important value down there.
Mm-hmm.
Death Mountain, on the other hand, of course, being quite important, most likely. One of the big notes here is, of course, where's the mirror?
Yeah, mirror is one of those items you do not want to get too late, because when you get it, you essentially add a whole bunch of just one-off overworld locations to your also first dig item at the dig game, just a 5-bomb capacity.
I guess Raspberryfloof would fine. It's one dig, I'll pick it up anyways.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see a lot of people decide to go pick up quiver and bomb bag upgrades.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no one likes routing in those overworld mirror locations when you get it so late, because then there's just a matter of, well, do I bother with checking all these locations and end up maybe getting nothing for it, or do I just kind of go for it and worry about that if I happen to be in the area again? It could be a very hard thing to really predict and figure out.
Yeah, exactly. And some of those mirror locations have already been put to one-off. So of course, with this check, Raspberryfloof has put K45 off until as now as sort of being a one-off check, and just by virtue of us getting the boots and Titan Myth so early, the Graveyard Ledge is already a one-off check as well at this point.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Anyway, I hope you guys are ready for some hype, because we are going to see what is inside the Hype Cave location next.
And we get a Lagarang, a book, 20 rupees, a mirror.
There's the mirror.
And 300 rupees. Why are you saving and quitting? Why aren't you just going and doing... Why? Oh, right. You've got a frog. Never mind. I somewhat more agree.
But this does kind of, I mean, not too far away from the area, can kind of put those mirror locations back in. We can also get what's on the Bombos tablet now as well.
Yeah, it's one of those locations where I almost consider just routing backwards around. Mm-hmm. Especially if I'm just going to immediately take the purple chest back over anyways. I would have, if I was Raspberryfloof here, I would have actually gone to the Dark World first, and then, like I said, grabbed the purple chest on my way out of the Smiths. Although that does depend on if Raspberry is planning to do Swamp in the near or imminent future here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and there's the other mail upgrade on the blacksmiths.
Yep. So unlikely that we're gonna see Raspberryfloof at least get the red mail on the floating island. I expect Buane will also likely do the frog quest, but never want to call that too early, as there's lots of reasons to not do that on occasion.
You also want to know what else we got in that Hype Cave. We also got full swamp access as well.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was a little surprised that we were not doing swamp. Because...
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I thought you were kind of going for the mirror locations, but yeah, okay, that does make sense.
Because if you're going to do purple chests, you end up right at swamp, and it works out very nicely.
Mm-hmm.
But if this was the play that Raspberry wanted to make, very fair.
Oh, definitely. Gonna be able to route in Tower of Hera as well, because Floof actually has the hammer, unlike Buane when he was up here.
Yep. So we'll see where our routing next again here. There it is. I'm like, I wonder when the Raspberry's gonna get the hookshot out and do the hookshot dash. Right now.
There it is. Oh, no!
And that's the problem with the hookshot dash.
Yeah, sometimes you go too fast for your own good and you accidentally fall off the mountain.
It's true, I do know Raspberry's a her, and I'm just awful at using proper pronouns without hearing. I'm sorry, Raspberryfloof, for every time I've called you him in this seed already, because I am 100% knowledgeable about that, and I'm just being silly. course, Raspberryfloof going to get some new checks in here as well.
That is right. In addition to Hera, we also have the Ether Medallion check as well.
That being said, Tower of Hera, if I remember correctly, was a pendant.
Yes, it is also the green pendant too, though.
Yeah. So we'll see if Raspberryfloof does want to do the full check, if she'll just do the first couple here.
Usually I find when you're kind of checking Tower of Hera for items and you kind of end up on the top floor anyway, at that point you may as well just go ahead and kill Moldorm just in case. It's not too far from where you are.
Yeah, sometimes it depends on if you find an item on the first two chests. I have seen a couple runners who find that item in one of the first two locations just go, I'm good for now.
Yeah.
I don't want to full clear this dungeon for one more location.
But then there's a seed where that last location does have your progression. It's sometimes a really hard call to make.
It is, and that's often why, like I say, once you get to this point, once you're going up the tower, you go till you find the item. For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
There's one of them. And there's the other one. Raspberry not going to stay for the green pendant though.
Interesting. You know, I'll respect that play.
Yeah. Especially with how many items we've gotten this seed already. Like,
you know, I think Flute is the only thing we're really missing. Like, we need to know. We have to find out some more information, obviously, but
yeah.
Flute is like the big thing we need still, because we may not need the Fire Rod.
Yeah, Flute's the biggest thing. So the things that we could still need, of course, are Quake. And really, I guess that's really the only other thing that control us. Then it just comes down to if Quake's locked behind the other items that are required to do other dungeons and such.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, this could be a very quick go mode for both of our runners. Again, we need that extra intel, that extra information, but we are really not too far from starting to work our way to the end here.
Yep. I find it a little interesting. I always find it a little interesting when someone decides to route in the Paradox Cave before Spiral Cave with the mirror. Because the mirror makes it very simple to route in Paradox Cave from the bottom after you've jumped down from Spiral Cave.
Yeah.
Depending on what routing that Raspberryfloof overall wants to go for through the mountain here. Because, of course, another location that is in logic, especially with the half magic, is the Spike Cave as well.
That is true. Since we are kind of seeing some locations that we've already seen from both runners, I do want to also address something in chat. There is also a possibility for Fire Rod being required for Ganon's Tower if the big key is on the right side, because if you do not have the Fire Rod and you want to check right side, you actually need to do a bomb jump to get the last torch. So there is a possibility Fire Rod might be required for that, but if it's on the left side, Fire Rod is not required at all for Ganon's Tower. Or left side.
As you alluded to there, it's not a hard lock. If you do know that bomb jump, you can get around it. That was Bombos there for Turtle Rock. We did confirm that there.
That's what I thought.
I'm just going to catch it on the restream here just to double check. Yes, definitely Bombos. And there we go, Buane getting his blue mail.
And yep, it looks like Raspberry is not going to worry about that red mail. But again, sometimes blue mail is enough.
On the other hand, it's time for fake powder.
Ooh, that's right, because we do have the mushroom, so Buane is going to use this.
Somehow managed to get to a non-even. There we go.
So fake powder is a very interesting glitch. First you have to be out of magic, then you have to use the Cane of Samaria, and as soon as you hear that sound the cane makes when you have no magic, you very quickly switch to the mushroom, or even powder if you have powder, but mushroom works. And if you use it, it'll act like you do have magic and the powder, and you'll just sprinkle it on there, and you can get that item without having the powder.
Yep. Difficult to say why the mushroom acts like that. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that it had something to do with the fact the game doesn't expect you to have the Cane of Samaria and the mushroom at the same time. Or at least the developers didn't.
Right.
So, and because they are technically one item slot in the vanilla game, might have something to do with it. Who knows, though. Buane getting his hype cave. Let's see if we get a swamp check here.
It would be a good play. Has all the items to go into it, and sometimes just knowing if you have the items for a location, go into it might be a good idea. But instead, opting to save it, which I can also understand, because Swamp is a dungeon you want to do in Go mode.
And with how close our runners are to Go mode, as mentioned before, Buane at this point, having the flute being basically his Go mode item at this, or at least his ability to find out if he's in Go mode item.
And yeah, once again, chat alluding to what I said about using powder to fake powder, which it is still a thing, because you could also just have no magic and have no magic to use the powder. So sometimes you can use the fake powder with the powder. It's not incorrect.
It's actually almost more important in dungeons that use a lot of magic, and so you can powder an anti-fairy with the trick as well.
Yeah.
Both players in pod now, though.
Yeah.
So after all this divergence, basically never on the same play at the same... I guess they were in the Eastern at the same time, I think.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, Raspberryfloof was finishing up Eastern when Buane entered, I believe.
But outside of Escape, that's been about the only other time we've been doing the same thing at the same time. Up till now.
Also, I really want to check Raspberryfloof's items when we get to this next room, because there's something on the tracker that has caught my eye. Okay, she does have the Cane of Samaria.
Yes,
I was worried about
she definitely does.
I was worried about that for a second, but yeah, she does have the cane.
Of course, both runners opting to do the right side first, just to make sure that the big key wasn't over here. They did have the key to just sort of go in, but with so many mobility options that they have available to them, it's definitely lots of options available with how to go there.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, Mire is a crystal. The pendants for this are Tower of Hera, Skullwoods, and Turtle Rock. So all the rest of the dungeons are crystals, and Swamp Palace is the other 5/6 crystal.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of interesting. All of the dungeons that are in the northern part of both maps are the pendants.
It's true.
Man, this is really putting into perspective how close both of these runners are to each other right now.
Yeah.
And again, despite that divergence, like they're still like this close. They have all the same items. There's not really much separating them. So this could be a really interesting race if they all pick the same place.
Just a small difference in which overworld locations they've checked. Buane has the South Light World checked. Raspberryfloof has not done that yet. Whereas Raspberryfloof has Tower of Hera completed, or not completed, but empty of items.
Yeah, and the
Ether tablet
as well.
checked. Yeah. Well,
there's the Quake medallion, so we are really just a flute away from
flute for Fire Rodless Go mode. Whatever, for 5 out of 22, sorry, not 5 out of 22, only 4 out of 22 Go mode. Or I guess the other way around, 18 out of 22 Go mode.
Which does beg the question, though, if they do get that flute here in the next few chests, do they just kind of YOLO and try to assume they are in Go mode and not check for that fire up?
That will depend a little bit, as we mentioned on... First of all, if they're thinking about that potential problem, and second of all, if they know how to deal with it if that becomes a problem. Now, that being said, that bomb jump is quite tricky, if I understand correctly. I've only seen the setup for it once, and I know I've never practiced it.
Yeah, it's an interesting case where you have to bomb jump on a conveyor belt, and then once you get over, light the torch, fall into the pit, and then kind of reset the room, and then go through normally without lighting that last torch. It's very, very precise. You can't really afford to waste too much time on it. But, you know, it is definitely possible. If our runners can manage to make that work, yeah, they could really just be in Go mode before they get that fire up. Okay, it does look like Palace of Darkness is not going to have
Buane is sad.
Oh, poor Buane.
The one downside of fake powder is you have no more magic.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Wow, they're in the same cutscene at the same time right now.
Yeah, we've been so close to a actual sync throughout this dungeon. We haven't quite seen the actual, like, both screens doing literally the same thing at the same time, but they've been within half the screen basically the entire time.
Yeah, definitely. Floof did enter the dungeon ahead, and Buane has been able to kind of do some slightly better execution to get through this a little faster, so he is currently, I'd say, ahead right now, but again, we'll have to see what happens after this dungeon, if they do happen to have a divergence, and how that divergence will help either of the two runners.
Nice turtle room there for Raspberry, for sure. Very quick. Oh, not getting the key dash there. Or more likely not canceling the dash fast enough, as most runners sort of understand that the key dashes are very finicky to line up.
Really solid Helmasaur fight from both runners. It looks like Raspberryfloof was able to get slightly faster, only slightly though. Sometimes that can depend just on the RNG of Helmasaur in general.
I was wondering about that. I was wondering. I think Buane managed to skip the Harmless Hellway. I think the Harmless Hellway might have had a small key.
Yes, I believe so. So that was how Buane was able to close the distance and get ahead briefly.
Yeah.
Looks like Floof is actually opting not to save and quit. Going to be checking the Dark World for a couple more items before choosing the next path.
Yeah, not a lot of better times to go ahead and try for Pyramid and Catfish, so... that being said, Buane's routing actually makes a little bit more sense for this. finish Swamp Palace, then go to the pyramid with the big bomb.
Ooh, that's true. That's could be what he's thinking. But first, I think we are going to see what's on the Bombos tablet.
That seems
or not.
to maybe be K45 check. I don't think we have the. Did we get the shovel somewhere? I don't think we did.
No, that's K45, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there it
rod.
is. Okay, we still need flute, but once we find flute, Raspberryfloof will officially be in go mode. Of course, though, that does potentially put the flute inside Turtle Rock.
Yeah, the flute can be anywhere that's not Mire area. Mushroom turn in time. Let's see what the mushroom is. Come on, vanilla powder. Just for the heck of it.
No, it looks like the witches did some kind of weird witchcraft and turned that mushroom into some bombs.
Yeah. And Bombos, on the other hand, Bombos tablet just having a little bit of love.
Okay, so Buane is opting to go ahead and check Swamp Palace, and honestly, I do not blame him as much as fun it is to check Swamp Palace in go mode. With just one item on the table and 6 item locations here, could be thinking that this is the play.
And we'll almost definitely see a left side skip initially. Whether we see it played all the way through in terms of not checking the left side at all, we'll find out. But
oh, you know what? We have actually not seen the Zora area yet, have we?
No, I don't believe so.
Because I don't think Buane fake flipper at all, so...
Bomb's first chest swamp.
Just a bomb capacity upgrade on the Zora ledge.
Yep. And the big scam.
500 rupees for a single big 20. Someone should teach the Zora how to properly count change.
Yeah, it might be helpful.
20 does not equal 500.
Raspberry is going to do Skull Woods, Purple Chest, I don't know.
Graveyard Ledge?
Graveyard Ledge, yeah. Going into Skull Woods area.
We have not seen the second item in Skull Woods. And she does have the mirror and the book. Could be, well, oh, yeah, I guess it could be on the pedestal. Flute could be on the pedestal.
Yeah, there's no reason it can't be, especially since we already have the book doesn't even matter because it's Tower of Hera, Skullwoods, and Turtle Rock. So yeah, so we'll be interested to see if we get the pedestal check before or after doing Skullwoods.
Honestly, it could be before.
Yeah. Okay, Buane, what have we got? 50 rupees. Heart container. Well, that's not bad. If you never see the map and compass, you can skip left side regardless. But there's the map.
Okay, everyone, let's see what this pedestal item is.
It's a shield.
Not gonna care about that.
It's a shield. But we are going in anyways.
Yep. So at the very least, if we get the last item here in this first chest, we don't have to beat Mothula because we know that pedestal is not going to matter. So we can just skip that.
Very solid Argus here so far. No zero cycle kill, but very effective. Very nice silver arrow as well. Getting the compass just to say, nah, both items, both a chest on left side are items. Deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think the big key was also on left side just to make things that much worse, actually.
Yep. He's thinking, okay, he's going to go back in. He knows that there's items in there. He can't really ignore them. If it was one item, he could maybe make the argument that, you know, I could gamble just to maybe get a little bit ahead here, but with two, I feel like you got to go back in.
Very nice fight there by Raspberryfloof, quickly taking down the moth, getting the item. It was a 10 arrow capacity. Raspberryfloof will probably not be the happiest about that.
Probably not.
But she was also already here, and killing moth isn't a huge deal for most runners with 11 hearts and blue mail. And half magic.
And tempered sword.
And tempered sword and everything else. So Buane, of course, getting ready to go to the left side, and then, of course, once he finishes left side, he gets to come back to the middle room to open the big chest. Everyone's favorite thing to do, unless the flute is actually just there.
Or unless the big key is in the big chest, which can
True.
happen in this version of the logic.
Yes, yes. Very, very true. And we are going to get a graveyard ledge check. Very interesting dichotomy here, of course, with Buane doing the see crystal dungeon, do crystal dungeon method, where Raspberry is doing the overworld with the mirror.
You know, one check that I think would be interesting right now is...
There
oh my
it
god,
is!
there it is! Raspberryfloof is in go mode, everyone.
That is huge. Raspberryfloof has such a huge advantage right now.
There it is.
I don't know that, assuming that Raspberryfloof executes decently for the rest of the run, I don't know that Buane can catch up. Unless he makes the gamble very quickly.
The one thing Buane does have on Floof right now is that there is a 1 crystal advantage. So, but the thing is, it depends on when he goes back for that graveyard ledge.
Well,
that's basically what's going to determine this.
The other problem is the 1 crystal advantage is Swamp Palace, one of the fastest go mode dungeons in the game.
Yeah, but the thing is, if he happens to go to that graveyard ledge after checking Pyramid Fairy, like, that won't matter too much.
It's true, but if he goes to Ice Palace before, that will pretty much be it. But let's see what his... oh, right, and so of course we're getting the pyramid play here. Maybe?
Yeah, I think that's what
we're just getting sideways for the dash.
So I want to say he'll be the closest to that ledge by going this route. So this is really his chance here, I'd say. Because if he starts hitting, like you said, if he starts hitting those crystal dungeons to check for items, yeah, Raspberryfloof is going to be in very good shape here.
And, well, it's not quite what Raspberryfloof wanted to see on there. Raspberryfloof actually wanted to see the big key on that torch. Would be interesting, actually, if the big key is in here.
Okay, it looks like Buane had to take a double take right there. Wait a minute, that's the fire rod. I might need that.
Yep. I was about to say, you don't really need spin speed for that, Buane. Of course, forcing us on basically full clear desert to find the big key.
At least we know it's going to be right there. Okay, so he didn't hookshot across the river right there, so he is going to go to Catfish, and he is close to that whirlpool that is connecting to the Lake Hylia whirlpool, so that could lead him to ice.
Finds his triple bombs. Anyways, nice quick Moldorm kill.
Yeah,
for the compass.
Mm-hmm.
Last item's in the big chest, I think.
Yes, I believe it is.
Yes,
And...
yeah. But we don't care.
Okay, so Raspberryfloof ties it up with crystals again. Meanwhile, Buane is checking the hobo right now.
Which, probably not a great sign, because he's probably going to double back and do Ice Palace. Meanwhile, of course, Raspberryfloof heading on to use Bombos to open Misery Mire.
And yep, he is swimming back. Oh, wait a minute. He's going back to the whirlpool.
Going back to the Zora area.
He knows that portal's still there.
We'll see what the play is.
We do not want to see that save and quit after Zora if we want to see Moyne go in the right direction.
I'm not sure how Raspberryfloof snuck past that fire snake without taking damage, but somehow she managed it. Wow, the Godmire.
Wow, big key immediately.
Go in here, grab the skull, go in the door, and off to the boss we go.
Mm-hmm.
So we do get the save and quit out of Buane. This could be interesting. This could be close.
He's really, really close to where that flute is. He is heading back to this war point over here, so it could be on his mind that I do have some mirror spots I need to check.
Forgetting he has the Titan's Defense there? Oh, we're going to pedestal. Okay,
yeah,
fair enough.
Gonna check pedestal first.
So that's actually almost a little bit scarier, because that means that Graveyard Ledge is less likely on his mind, and he'll probably continue doing crystal dungeons. As we sort of mentioned before, so both Desert Palace and Ice Palace are available to him at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Saving and quitting.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the Desert Palace play first.
That's actually something I was going to mention right as Raspberryfloof found the flute. Yeah, checking Desert would be an interesting gamble, just because if the flute happens to be there, you could gain a significant advantage over your opponent, because they could be under the impression, well, I can just clear Desert when I get flute and do it with Meyer, like Raspberryfloof did, but
yeah,
unfortunately, it's not going to work out in that fashion.
And here comes the Desert play.
Meanwhile, Raspberryfloof finishes up Misery. Meyer getting their 5th crystal. She is 2 away, and both Ice Palace and Swamp Palace are really, really fast dungeons to do in Go mode. So this is going to be an amazing time. This is going to be an amazing time. Even if Buane spends a little extra time here, when he finds the flute, he's also going to post an amazing time for this seed as well. This has been a very, very fast seed.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't end up putting off Graveyard Ledge for forever. Like if he goes dungeons all the way, which he's less likely to because he knows that it's not pedestal, but he could very well go and do Turtle Rock and Skullwoods and Tower of Hera before he actually goes to Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, going to Turtle Rock would be a very unfortunate happening for him, because there's just going all the way back up there, going through the whole dungeon, which you can get at this point, and then
well, that's
not
the
getting
problem.
that flute.
There's only 5 locations right now locked by the flute, or 5 items. The 2 in the Mire Shed, the 2 in Mire, and the Checkerboard Cave, and that's it. Everything else is accessible without the flute.
Yeah.
And of course, that's where the problem comes. Is that this could be an hour 30 seed for Buane, or this could be a 2-hour seed for Buane, all dependent on when he checks the Graveyard Ledge.
It seemed like he was kind of in a habit of checking mirror locations earlier. If he just kind of rethinks on that principle, he could be fine, but...
Even saves and quits. Can't really blame him because, as we sort of mentioned, it's very simple to finish Desert with Mire, and he already knows that it doesn't have anything else of consequence. So, just opting to find his information faster rather than finish off the crystal dungeon he's doing right there. Especially since the mirror would take him back to the front door instead of the side door, because he entered from the front. Because of course he doesn't have the mirror, so or doesn't have the flute. I mean, so he can't get to that side door first.
Anyway, Buane is entering Ice Palace next.
Yep.
There is a possibility that both of our runners will be in the same dungeon again, but unfortunately, it'll be for Buane's 4th crystal and for Raspberry's 7th, so...
Yeah, not to mention the overall status of Raspberryfloof may finish this dungeon before Buane does.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm not sure there's quite that much time on the full clear, but it's not insignificant.
Oh, for sure.
Especially since we didn't get a small key in the first chest. Small key in first chest cuts down the full clear time of Ice Palace by a lot.
Yes, it really does. And again, having that Canis and Maria also means that you don't have to bomb jump either, so...
Yeah, bomb jump is, on a full clear, is completely optional. Having very little, if any, benefit to the bomb jump on a full clear. But that being said, when you're on a 1-item full clear, you typically want to do it anyways, just in case you don't find the big key by the time you find your go mode item.
Right.
Now, we know the go mode item's not here, but just to sort of throw it out there for anyone who sort of follows the bomb jump logic, it does make sense for Buane to do the bomb jump here, even though he's going to full clear this. Because he doesn't know he's going to full clear this.
Yeah. Takes a few shots, but Raspberryfloof does get the silver arrow hit on Argus down. Gets her 6th crystal. Her second 5/6 crystal, but not going to be looking at that Pyramid Fairy because she has everything she needs for go mode at this point.
Yeah. I can say one thing for sure. Raspberryfloof would have beat me on this seed.
Oh, for sure.
Because I would definitely have made the same play that Buane made. I'm not sure to what degree, but I definitely would have made the the full clear Swamp Palace into Pyramid check, for sure.
Yeah, this is just the thing about Randomizer sometimes. It can just come down to one item, one location, one thing that you're not prepared for. You can route consistently as much as you want, but there is going to be a seed where your routing just does not work out for you, and unfortunately that's kind of what's happened to Buane in this instance.
Here we do see, of course, Raspberryfloof entering the top of Ice Palace. Our jelly's just trolling us and making us drop our bomb. In the vanilla big key chest, we have a little bit of love and a health refill.
Sometimes a little bit goes a long way.
Raspberryfloof's bomb jump. That's interesting. Is Raspberryfloof trying to get a pixel down from the wall first there?
Oh, wow. I have actually never seen that setup. That's pretty good.
Yep. And yeah, so if I'm correct and Buane hasn't checked Ice-T room, I think we are indeed going to get Raspberryfloof into Cold Stare. Nope. Okay, so we must have done Ice-T when I wasn't paying attention there.
Yeah, I think maybe he's done his item counts.
Or oh, right. Yeah, it might be done in all 3 items as well.
And with half magic, Cold Stare fight is pretty trivial. Not too bad. And
didn't quite keep the puffs in the corner as long as he wanted to, but enough safeties that it's not really going to matter.
Yeah, get a couple of fire rod shots then, in addition to those few sword swipes, still goes down pretty quickly.
Yeah. Surprised that it was 2 fire rod shots. I thought he was closer to getting the kill than that, but Raspberryfloof is going to be about the same, probably. Kept him in the corner a little bit longer.
Yeah, and it seemed like she only got hit by the icicles. Seems like the puffs never did damage, so good job of kind of regulating them and making sure they don't really get in her way too much.
Yeah. Anyways, of course, it is that time of the seed.
That is right. So let's get this going. There are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower. In those 22 chests, the big key could be found. As a chat, you're going to guess which location that big key is going to pop in. I'm going to go with my normal guess of 8.
Wow, we are the same.
I accidentally typed in 9.
Good job.
Me.
It's not how you're supposed to play the game. It's not how you're supposed to play the game.
Oh, whatever.
Anyways, Buane getting his bee in a bottle. And we're going to see the Tower of Hera check.
Yeah, both runners on their way to Death Mountain, unfortunately, is for two far different things.
Yeah. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, I have a feeling this could turn into a 2+ hour seed for Buane, all based on one item being in a solitary location that he doesn't want to go check until he's finished the denser areas.
That's true. I don't know, part of me feels like it's not going to be that extreme. Like, I think he can still easily break under 2 hours, because when you think about it, the remaining 2 crystals he needs, he has the big key for Desert already. The big key to Mire is very easy to get, so they'll be very quick clears.
Locations he can check.
Oh, and I should also mention for the Big Key guessing game, if you are a subscriber to any of the Speed Gaming channels, or if you have donated at least 250 bits to any of the channels, you have a chance to be entered into the leaderboard, which should be showing up after we finish and find the Big Key.
Exactly.
You can still play, even if you don't have either of those 2 conditions met, but the leaderboard will be for those who do have met those requirements.
As well, the shout out for the winner.
Yeah, of course.
And we do get Anger Phase, because we did get a poke on number 1. Fortunately, just using the good old stand your ground and poke until the tail runs past you strat.
It looks like Raspberryfloof is checking the right side first.
A little bit too fast there, Raspberry. Gotta wait for it to actually get over there. Just gonna slash the game to death a little bit there. Got a Burna. Not a lot else.
Gonna grab this small key right here and then go back. Also, Spike Cave check. I don't think we've seen this before either.
I think that's right. Raspberryfloof did it or not. And the heart container not going to help me remember if it was or not. Yeah. That's for sure.
I'm almost tempted to say that Raspberryfloof didn't check it just because she has so many less heart containers than Buane as it is.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, there it is. I believe that was chest number 7. No, 8.
No, that's 8. Chest 8. We're both right.
Oh my gosh, why did I type 9?
Why? Why would you do it to yourself? Why would you do that to yourself?
Oh gosh.
It's not where I normally to go for 8, but you know, whatever works. Although to be fair, 9 was the winner, so you know. Or for for the sub supporters. So you know. You take from that what you want. I don't know how many 8s there were actually in there.
That's true. But as far as the Speed Gaming supporter, Don Peary was the first one to get that. And as far as the first actual 8 guess was the manufacturer, so congrats to both of you.
Anyways, let's see if we're going to take a jump off the Cannonball Bridge here. If we're just going to take it as fast as we can. Just going to walk across it. Didn't get the best RNG there. Had to stop very quickly, unfortunately, but got to commit to it once you start it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, almost had a very nice room there.
So, it looks like Buane is going to be hookshotting across to Death Mountain here.
Yep. Buane is not in for a good time.
terms of his stats, he'll do just fine in Turtle Rock. It's just he's not going to be finding what he's looking for.
And the worst part is there's not even much else to find of a lot of use. Powder being about one of the only things left that it really would really be of much use.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Raspberry going to start her second to Lamno fight here.
Good enough.
Hey, 2 cycles in both Lamnola's fights. Can't complain about that.
Yep. And into Turtle Rock we're going.
Anyway, chat asking if this is going to be a PB for Raspberryfloof. Honestly, I have no idea. We'll have to ask her if she joined us for an interview. But, you know, randomizer personal bests are kind of a hard thing to really kind of consider just because every seed is different, and some seeds are just naturally faster than others.
Yeah.
But still, it's always good to have a really fast run under your belt and know that, okay, this was my best personal run ever.
Always feels a little bit nicer on a seed like this where you sort of know you made that one gamble that really helped you get that time, as though either way.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, and, you know, we can look at it in the way where she went to go check Pedestal. She was in the area, and she was probably thinking, okay, I still have that graveyard ledge. This will be my only chance where I'm like this close to it. I better go ahead and see what that is, and that's going to end up paying off dividends for her.
Yep. Nice shot timing there.
It's just a map in the Moldorm 2 chest. Not going to be of any help. It's kind of maybe hoping for just a last-second sword upgrade, but again, as we said, tempered, not much of a difference between both swords.
Yeah, very few things that were going to show up there. Especially since we already knew where the red mail was.
Yes.
Only one hit on the first round, and this is always the formation that's awful because it's near impossible to redirect anything useful.
I got an A+ in geometry, and even I am not good at that angle.
Uh-oh. Raspberry, you need to clutch this out. Okay, we're 3 hits now. Everything should be fine. This is a decent angle, maybe?
Yeah, she will have to be careful, though. Okay, there we go. She must have gotten another hit somewhere.
Buane having the powder, having fun with getting some anti-fairies there. Getting the 4 anti-fairy powder.
Meanwhile, Raspberryfloof is going in for the final obstacle in her way from claiming victory in this race, the Ganon fight.
The one thing that Raspberryfloof Dunning might do for Buane is sort of tell him that he doesn't need to be diving. Now, it's probably a little bit late because, of course, he's already going to be all the way through Turtle Rock by the time that Raspberryfloof duns.
Mm-hmm.
But it is going to let him know that it's probably not in a very familiar location when she finishes at 126 or so.
Yeah. She did go in and take a hug from Ganon, probably just saying, you know, this has been a good run. I know we're getting ready to fight each other, but let's just hug it out before this begins. So I can get a full health restore, and I think that's what she did. Unfortunately, it does take another hit, so she's kind of low again. But going to use the cape right
Probably
here.
a little bit of feeling really good because of the... because of where she found it, knowing that she's probably not super tight to her opponent because of where the correct play was.
I believe she also has that blue potion still too, so...
Yeah, I was wondering, because I know she used one on her way up. She used it in about the third room in the gauntlet, but I think she may have another one still.
Yeah, I think she bought
she
some
purchased,
when she was checking the mushroom item.
Oh, that could be a problem. Yep.
Ooh, unfortunate.
We'll pick up a fairy drop, I'm sure, on the tree on the way back. No reason not to, and it just tops her up nicely.
Okay, apparently she used both potions she had on her way up, so never mind.
And of course, this RNG is going to be random this time. Well, to be fair, it was technically random the first time too, but this will not be... only the first RNG is set by the seed. Any RNG after the first is entirely random.
Yeah, that is correct. And the sweet spot right here to get some nice sword spins on Ganon.
Just gonna hook the way out. Not taking any extra damage early here will make this a little bit safer overall.
Okay, Buane, you're in the area again.
It could just be for the Skull Woods check, because of course that's sort of the play he's been making. We're going for Torch Glitch. And there should be a nice double. And that should be doubleable as well for the kill. Indeed It was. Standing right in the middle of the Triforce. And Raspberryfloof through the door with an official SRTV time of 1:26:39.
Get your GGs in chat, because that was an amazing run. Seriously, seeing a sub 130 seed is definitely a breath of fresh air for any runners who play this.
Yeah, not too ridiculous on the execution requirements for this seed either. That was
definitely not.
Having that nice early tempered sword.
Tempered sword early, silvers early. I want to say half magic was pretty early too. So, just again having everything you need for that Ganon fight.
As Buane drops in and is about to get his 10 arrow upgrade.
And joining us right now on air, we have Raspberryfloof. GG, congrats on what was, quite honestly, an amazing run.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. I'm still shaking from that Ganon's Tower and Ganon fight.
Well, you already know what play won you that race. I'm sure.
I assume it was checking the graveyard ledge for the flute.
Well, yes, it was. Surprise! Buane, of course, still scouring, has full cleared every single dungeon now.
Oh, no.
And he is Okay,
and he's
he is
now
going
on his way to the
right.
graveyard ledge. Just killed Mothula, and now he's gonna get it. Oh, and he's done. Buane has forfeited. He found go mode, and he's like, "I'm good."
Yeah,
I know what letter win. I can do the rest of the seed. It's blue mail, 14 hearts, tempered sword. I can do this. I don't need to do this.
And he bombs the flute, never wanting to play it again. Gonna give it a nice bombos as well. But yeah, chat actually has a question. Was that run potentially a personal best for you at all, or have you gotten a seed that fast before? Or
That was a PB by about 10 minutes. It was.
Oh, wow.
I don't think I've ever been in go mode under an hour before. That was ridiculous.
yeah, definitely. That was again really, really well played, really well routed too. And yes, the items just seem to always pop up when you needed them right there.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. Every seed I've played in V29 so far has like been pointing you towards dungeons, and in this seed, it seemed like a lot of the items were just out on the overworld waiting to be picked up.
Yeah, and like I hear a lot of people kind of talk about that because versions 28, 7, and 6 were so heavy towards dungeon clearing, and then all of a sudden with this one, it's kind of gotten back to overworld or maybe even a bit more balanced. But yeah, it always seems like whenever I try to play to that, I go to dungeons, they're always in overworld. Then when I play overworld, it's like they're always in dungeons. So, you know, it's always great when, at least with your own specific routing, when it does work out, because then you can really turn in a seed at this speed.
Yeah, because of course, well, you guys were in pod together right before. What did pod have that? Did pod have anything that broke it open, or was it just that they both got to pod at the same time?
They both got to Palace of Darkness at the same time. Floof entered just a bit before Buane did, and then by the end of it, Buane was just barely ahead. Again, I think you were both in the same crystal cutscene at the same time.
And then basically Buane went back to do Swamp Palace, Pyramid Fairy, and went from there, whereas you, of course, went and found the fire... went immediately to the pyramid, got the fire rod, and then shortly after got into go mode.
Yeah, I forget what sent me over towards Skullwoods. I think it was getting the fire rod. Because I could finish all the pendant dungeons, and I wanted to check the pedestal.
Yeah, I think, and we were sort of I was a little surprised when you checked the pedestal first, but then still did Mothula, but you found the item, and that's the important thing.
Well, Mothula did have the second item in Skullwood, so it's like, may as well check that, so...
Yeah, and Skullwood's back is not that long, so...
Yeah. No, I'm not getting any response from Buane here. I'm not sure if he's going to come in for an interview. I'm just going to try one more time here real quick, see if I can get him. But fantastic race there from you so far, of course, Raspberry.
Thank you.
Yeah, moving on to 2 and 1. Have any idea what your chances are going to be like next week, or are you just going to play it by ear, or anything you want to take next one by chance?
I just hope this run was just amazing. I don't know what else I can say about it.
That's
I hope
fair.
I tighten up like execution, because I felt behind like the moment I got in go mode, because I was like, I think Buane's execution is probably way better than mine. So if he did the same things I did, he'll be way ahead of me, and I just need to go and hurry and catch up. So I got really nervous in Ganon's tower, and then you could tell by the end I was not playing particularly well.
Those nerves can really get to you. I honestly do not blame you at all. So, especially like with such a fast seed, you never know. Like the flute was that easy to get. You could have potentially gotten that earlier. You just don't know what your opponent's thinking. And fortunately for you in this case, like your opponent had a slightly different routing decision in mind, which did kind of take him away from where he needed to be. But it did work out for you. So again. Can't state this enough. GG, and definitely good luck moving forward.
Anyways, with that, any final thoughts on the seed raspberry, or have you pretty much got everything out that you want to get out there?
I just hope that more seeds in the tournament are this fast.
Don't we all? Collection rate of 124 for you there. Collecting almost getting under half the barely passing half the items.
Mm-hmm. And like that's with the Go Mode Swamp, Go Mode Ice Palace, pretty much a Go Mode Mire too, because he found the big key immediately, and not even stepping foot in the Turtle Rock. So like all those dungeon items just being not on that count at all.
Yeah. Anyways, as we do close this up, then we do of course want to have a big shout out for our runners, Raspberryfloof and Buane. If you did enjoy this race, do consider giving them a follow. I've got the links there in chat for anyone who's interested. Also, for more fun in this tournament, do consider following the Speed Gaming channel, Speed Gaming through Speed Gaming 6, as well as the Link to the Past Randomizer channels, ALTTP Randomizer through ALTTP Randomizer 4. The tourney is being hosted very heavily on both sets of channels. Speed Gaming, of course, covering many other speedrunning events as well.
That's right. In fact, right now, as we're talking, 3 races have recently started at 4 p.m. We have a race on Speed Gaming 4, a race on Speed Gaming 3, a race on ALTTP Randomizer right now. So definitely, if you want to watch more, go to those channels. We have another race starting at 6 p.m. BBB Kermit versus Yume Sabasa CH on Speed Gaming 2. And for the rest of this week and the following weeks after and the following months after, we have Randomizer nonstop. So if you like what you saw, definitely consider coming back and watching more. Also want to give a big thank you to our tracker for this specific race. Hold on just a
Epic
moment.
Yoshi 64.
Epic Yoshi, thanks 64. Thank you for tracking and keeping us up to date on all those items that we've been collecting this seed. And of course, major shout outs to my co-com partner here, Spiffers the Grand. It was a grand time commentating with you, and we should definitely do it again. But go ahead and sign us off for us.
Well, I'm going to finish it with that seed is a lot faster than Hook Shot on Turtle Rock Big Key location.
I will agree with that.
Everyone have a fantastic afternoon, evening, night, morning, whatever time of day it is, where you are.
Later, everyone.